Hello and welcome to the Quickstart video for Payroll module. This video will show you how to manage the configuration of your account. We'll walk you through the steps to set up and customize your account settings to meet your specific needs and manage various payroll-related configurations for your account. First, go to the main menu and select Payroll. Once you're in the Payroll module, look for the Configuration option. Click on it to access the settings. You will see on this page 4 main tabs, namely General, Payroll, Users, and Group Access. Let's discuss the General tab. There are 5 sub-tabs available under this tab: the Company Details, Configuration, Cost Center, GL Account, and Salary Increment. In the Company Details tab, you can update the company's information and designate the primary contact person for the payroll module. This individual should be knowledgeable about the payroll system. In the General Configuration tab, you can manage the company's policies. Select this option if you want to allow employees to update their own bank account details, enabling them to make changes as needed. Select this option if you want to automatically send a PDF copy of the payslip to the employee's email upon approval and after the release date. Set the currency display depending on the currency of your country. The fortnightly pay period settings are used by companies that pay their staff twice a month, typically on the 15th and 30th, depending on company policy. In this section, you can define the date range for the first and second pay intervals, set the pay percentage, and determine when to deduct CPF contributions. You can also set the monthly pay run date, which is not the salary crediting date, but the date when you typically prepare and process the pay run. This date will also be displayed in the current pay run section of your pay run dashboard. Next is the gross or net pay limit, which is optional to set. If you want to cap the maximum amount payable to staff, you can set this limit. You can choose whether to apply it to gross or net pay and specify the amount. For example, if the limit is set at $10,000 and an employee is due to receive $11,500, they will have exceeded the limit. When you process the pay run, a red warning sign will appear, alerting you that the employee's pay exceeds the set limit. You can still proceed with processing the pay run, but it's recommended to review it before approving. The next section is the AW ceiling computation option, where you have 3 choices. Use year-to-date total OW subject to CPF, capped at $6,800 per month, or use previous year's total OW if available, system default. This option means that the ordinary wage will still be capped at $6,800 per month, but all additional wages will be subject to CPF contributions. Second option, use max total OW projected for the year. This option applies an annual cap of $102,000. $81,600 is derived from $6,800 multiplied by 12 months. This represents the cap for ordinary wage. After subtracting this amount from the annual cap, you are left with $20,400, which becomes the cap for additional wage. The system will only calculate CPF contributions on the first $20,400 of AW for the year. Third, use average OW subject to CPF in the year multiplied by 12. To use this option, you need to have at least 12 months of records in the system. This option calculates the CPF contributions based on the average OW subject to CPF multiplied by 12. The final section is the notification settings. Select the first option if you want to notify the payroll admins whenever there are changes made to an employee's salary. Select the second option if you want to notify the payroll admins when changes are made to an employee's bank account details. The next tab is the Cost Center, where you can create different cost centers to track expenses for each one. After creating these centers, you'll need to assign them to employees to generate a cost center report once the pay run is completed. The GL account is essential for integrating accounting software with the JustLogin system. If you're using QuickBooks, Xero, or NetSuite, you can initiate the integration to seamlessly transfer pay element transactions directly to your accounting software. When you access the accounting software menu, you can select the software you're using and enable the integration. A window will then appear where you can enter your login credentials. Finally, click the Connect button to complete the process. The final sub-tab under the General tab is the Salary Increment sub-tab. Here, you can view all the potential reasons for increasing an employee's salary. The system provides 7 default reasons, but you can add more if needed. This page is linked to the Payroll and Administration menu, where you'll handle the actual salary progression. In the Administration page, you'll find a tab called Salary Progression, where you can adjust employees' current salaries. To make adjustments, click the pencil icon to update the new pay details. There is a field labeled Reason, and when you click on the drop-down menu, you'll see the list of reasons you've defined on the Salary Increment page. The second tab in the Configuration section is the Payroll tab, which contains several sub-tabs. The first sub-tab is the Work Calendar, where you can assign the staff's work week and designate non-working days. This can be linked to the Leave module if you're using it, or you can uncheck the Use eLeave Calendar option to create a custom work week specifically for payroll. The main purpose of setting up the work calendar is to ensure accurate salary proration, especially for new joiners and resigning employees. The next tab is the OT Rates tab, where you can set the overtime hourly rates. If you'd like to include a table in the pay details to review how many overtime hours you're paying for each employee, check the Display and Pay Information and Process OT options. If you have staff who are paid hourly, you can select the Use Different Formula for Actual Working Hour option to customize the rate per hour for each employee. Additionally, you can set the actual hourly rate here. If an employee's overtime hours exceed 72 hours, you can choose to pay the remaining hours using a different pay element by selecting it from the drop-down menu. The next subtab is the Pay Elements subtab. This page displays all the existing pay elements in your system. By default, the system provides several pay elements that you can use immediately. However, if you need a pay element that isn't already available, you can easily create your own. Just click the Create Pay Element button to customize the name and settings according to your needs. Let me show you a quick demo on how to create a pay element. First, click the Create Pay Element button. Create your element ID. This should be a single word with no spaces. Enter your element name. You can be more specific here, as this is what will appear on the employee's payslip. Choose the appropriate element type. Set the formula or amount. If the amount is fixed for this element, you can enter it here. If the amount varies for each employee, it's best to set this to 0, allowing you to edit the amount when processing payroll. Select the relevant tax code. Identify the applicable criteria, such as whether it's prorated, CPF payable, SDL payable, or considered benefits in kind. Choose whether the wage type is ordinary or additional. Set the frequency, with monthly being the recommended option. Finally, click Submit, and that's how you create a pay element. The next sub-tab is the payslip format. Here, you can select the format you want your payslips to appear in. To view the available options, click the eye icon in the Actions column. You can also upload your company logo to be included on the payslip. Make sure that the image you upload has dimensions of 300 by 150 pixels. Now let's move on to the AW and OW opening balance section. This is where you can update the month-to-date salary that has already been processed for your staff. For companies starting with the JustLogin system mid-year, it's recommended to enter the total amount of ordinary wages, OW, and additional wages, AW, that have been processed in the current year in this section. In addition to updating this page, you can also perform a backdated pay run to cover salaries processed before you started using the system. This ensures that all historical payroll data is accurately reflected in the JustLogin system. Next sub-tab is the Voluntary Contributions. If employees are making contributions to any organizations, you can directly deduct these amounts from their salaries. You'll need to enter the details of these contributions on this page. The last sub-tab on this page is Custom Keyword, which is designed to make creating and editing formulas in the Payroll module easier by using predefined keywords. These keywords are configured based on the pay elements linked to them. Once set up, the formulas can be used for various payroll computations, such as unpaid leaves, leave encashments, or specific pay elements. The third tab in the Configuration page is the Users tab. This page displays all the employees who have access to the Payroll module. The User Profile section allows you to set various access permissions for different groups within Payroll. The system has predefined roles such as Payroll Admin and Reports Admin, which you can use to grant access to group admins. The last tab is Group Access, where you can create different groups and assign an admin to each group, allowing them to manage payroll for the members of their group. To create a new group, click Create New Group. You'll need to enter a group code, group name, and assign the staff members who will be part of this group. After creating the group, navigate to the Payroll Group Access Assignment section to designate which admin will be responsible for handling payroll for that group. That concludes the Payroll Quick Start video. Once you have configured the account, you can begin using your payroll module.